Well, happy Father's Day, everybody. Game Methuselah here. Just enjoying my Sunday here, and we're taking a little relaxation. Gonna maybe sit down and do some painting. I kind of want to slop some paint on this baby, but I've got a few other things to work on, so hopefully we'll get some things going, and maybe I'll just turn the camera on and let you guys watch what I normally do. I wanted to talk something briefly about what was going back and forth yesterday on my Twitter page. If you guys didn't know, yesterday was National Free RPG Day. I went over to one of my absolute favorite hobby shops, the Guild House over in Bellflower. If you have never been there and you're in LA, I think you should stop by and take a look. They're good folks and they're running a lot of games. It was fun. And I did something that I know better about and shouldn't have done it, but it was kind of one of those train wrecks where you knew it was a bad idea, but you went ahead anyway because, well, it seemed like there would be no harm. But of course there was. They were playing one of my favorite board games, Star Trek Ascendancy. Love the game, played it about 20, 25 times, really enjoy it, have played all the factions. So I walked up, said, wow, great game. Sorry I missed it. You guys all played before. And the one guy who's kind of running the thing said, well, no, I've played a bunch, but everyone else has played like one or two games, and these other two players haven't never played it before. So I said, well, I've got a bright idea, which means not a bright idea. I said, why don't I kibitz a little bit with them if you guys don't mind? And since I know the game pretty well, I can help them get the first, two turns started, and then I'm going to head on out. And the guy goes, well, that's a good idea. Okay, that's great. So I sat with the two guys and I started to help them with the rules, giving them some strategy, how their positions played, what they should do on their first turn, what to expect from the game. Nothing problematic. It was all good. The guys were really, really receptive. They were doing what I suggested, which was really good, and it worked out very well for them. And then the game started, and the referee misquoted a rule. And I said, are you sure on that? And he's like, yeah, I'm really sure. I said, well, it wasn't really a major deal, so I wasn't going to get into it because that's not very smart, as you'll learn later. And we went on. Then everyone took their turn and got to one guy's turn. Everything went perfect, and everyone's questioned something he did. And I said, no, the Federation fleet has this special ability, and and he did it on the first turn. It was perfect. Allowed him to basically go in and do a planet before anybody else could normally do it, and only the Federation can do it because they build this one colonization fleet. The next guy had a bit of a problem. He came out, he ran into a card that sort of botched up both of his things, two crises on them. And one of them, the guy quoted another rule. And I said, no, that's not right. And he goes, no, that is. And so I said, okay, so what's your game? And I stepped back and picked up the rules, went to the parch where the rules were, and then went over, showed it to him, said, and he goes, well, I wouldn't interpret it that way. And I'm like, well, okay, you're kind of free to interpret it as you see, but I'm not sure that it's not just really clear. You can see where this is going. The turn games continue. I tell the kid, I said, hey, what, the one thing went bad, but you can still negotiate a trade agreement with this player you just ran into, accidentally threw a crisis card. And the DM says, well, no, he can't do that because he's already made a deal with me. And I stopped and I looked and I said, well, I'm looking at the map and realizing he hasn't even gone yet. And I didn't see any cards that pulled out fleets of his anywhere, whatever. And I said, how is that possible? And the guy looked at me and said, you're kind of crowding us. Maybe you should go. And I said, I agree. So I said, I apologize for a disturbance to the game. Have a great game and see you later. And I left. Now, I know better than this. I've been around a long time. You don't interfere with people's games, especially when you find once you talk to a guy about a rule and you realize he wants to argue the rules with you, even though he's maybe played twice and you've played 30 times. Don't do this. Don't be this guy, i.e. me. A lot of times Matt Colville chimed in on this and he said something that I thought was very insightful. He said, sometimes people just like to make their own mistakes. Okay, I agree. I think that was wise. So, I think word to the wise on this is play your own game, enjoy your own game, modify your own rules, play however you want to with your group, explain to them what they're doing. Don't come in and be that guy who seems to know the rules really well, because in this case I did. But, you make the people feel small. You make the guys feel like maybe, they're wasting their time teaching these people how to play. The smarty guy should have done it. All that's bad. So keep that good game etiquette out there. And since it's Father's Day, make sure you call your dad, take him out to dinner or lunch, maybe get him to roll up a character and get into your role-playing game that, assuming he's not. You know, my father never got to see me play a single game. We used to play slot cars and trains when I was 14, when I lost him. And so many of my friends have bitched about their parents over the years, and I always just pulled up my hand and said, do you know how much it would mean to me to spend one day with my father, telling him about all the successes and things about life, to have him at my wedding, to have him do all the things that he never got to do. So there's never a time like the present to make good memories with family members, because I can tell you for a fact that in very short order, they will be gone. So please do so and get them in your role-playing game. And if they say, oh, God, that D&D stuff's not for me, show them one of my videos. Say, look, Dad, this guy's older than you, and he plays. If he can play, I bet, Dad, you can play. Get him to run a character. Maybe he'll paint. You never know. You may end up with a guy who's an avid gamer. So until I get a chance to talk to you again, happy Father's Days to all, and fight me, devils, fight, for I hate peace. Game on.